Warning. Warning. This is not a test. This is not a test.
we welcome you to Thunder Valley and Bristol Motor Speedway for the Moonshiners Racing League for round number 8 of the OB Builders Cup Series. Good evening, everybody. Nick Stein, Jeremy Miller with you once again here on Ballin TV as we bring you coverage of the Sim Rap Market 300 here from Bristol. Happy to have you here with us once again, ladies and gentlemen, as we go live for race number 8. Jeremy, how you feeling tonight? I know Bristol is always a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, Bristol is a absolutely awesome place to come, whether it be in the sim or real life. Been to a few races here myself, and always puts on a good show. And, well, used to always put on a good show, but in the sim, we still always get a good show. So we'll definitely see something better than I think what we saw on Sunday.
Yeah, for sure. And with the updated Bristol, artwork coming in as well, that makes it a lot more realistic. You see, we've officially made it to the second row of the schedule here. Bristol up there at the top. We're off next weekend as it is Easter weekend this weekend, and then we head to Talladega the week after. So a couple of fun races coming up here. Qualifying just getting underway now. Literally just started, and currently Nick King is your fastest lap. Actually, that's a lie. Alex Coffey is your fastest right now with a 14.358 as we zoom in via Google Earth as getting a look at Bristol Motor Speedway here.
Yeah, really, it's called the Glass Great Coliseum for a reason. This place gets packed. It is a full stadium, great atmosphere here. Like I said, I've been here a few times myself. As you can see, it's up on top of a hill, and the last thing you want is to be climbing those hills on a sprained ankle, and I can tell you that from experience, but all that elevation makes for some really interesting racing and some really high banked action.
Yeah, Bristol's always fun. You see there, 26 to 30 degrees worth of banking in these corners. So, yeah, we need to get NASCAR to put this back to the old style banking. That'll probably make the racing a little bit better. But we're here to talk about pretend racing here as we look at our points standings. Shane Davis, Blaine Wilson, and Alex Coffey still reside at the top of your point standings. But I did want to bring something to your attention. Between first and eighth, they are all within a race of points here. 8 races into the season. I mean, they're all within 60 points of each other for the top 8 positions. So points definitely close there. You see Brandon Bikey, Sean Rogers tied on points, just 4 points down to Brendan Fetterplace there in 8th. But like I said, points are very tight here as these guys, get into the summer stretch of the season and, try to get that consistency down that some people may be lacking early on.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to see these points standings spread out more and more as we go throughout the season. It's just a natural progression of things. But the wonderful thing about the playoffs is we'll be coming right back together, and we'll get a little 10-race stretch, which will be focused around this racetrack again at some point later in the season. So once again, another really important race to get your car figured out and see what you can bring back here in the fall.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, the last few few weeks worth of races have all been fellow playoff races as well as we get later into the season. So definitely high intensity races here to start the year as these guys try to get their cars dialed for later in the year, especially these championship contenders. So like I said, qualifying going on right now, 10-minute session, and we're currently 4 minutes past. And at the moment, 23 cars have set qualifying times, so we'll get some times here for you in just a moment, but currently just waiting for these guys to finish the qualifying lap.
Yeah, absolutely, and I do see some new blood out there on the track tonight, so it'll be interesting to see how some new faces show out here and see if we can get some new contenders at the front of the field tonight.
Yeah, for sure. We got a couple of guys that only really run part-time making an appearance here tonight, and you actually got one brand new guy joining in here as well. Late season addition, Timothy Harper, joining us here tonight. Chris Spear also making his 3rd appearance of the year, and I believe I saw him. Chris Davis is also in this race. He only shows up every once in a while, but he is here for Bristol.
It always a really interesting track to race around somebody you're not necessarily too familiar with. A lot of really tight quarters, beating and banging here. So everybody's going to probably mind their P's and Q's pretty early here, but we could definitely see some really intense racing later on in the evening.
Oh, yeah, for sure, especially as the track starts to cool down. And I mean, you look at the track temp right now, it's already really cool, sitting at 96 degrees. I mean, officials last week, they were sitting somewhere in between 100 and 110, just depending on what race you were in. But these guys definitely got a much cooler track temp than officials in NIS were lucky enough to get. But yeah, once that track temp does start to cool off, racing is going to get very, very good here as most people seemingly finishing up their qualifying runs now. Alex Coffey sits on top of the pole standings here with a 14.358, and Tim Harper with a 14.379 there in that second place spot. So see weather conditions down there in the bottom, 74-degree air temp, and of course that very, very low track temp.
Yeah, definitely a really cool track. We've seen some issues in real life here when the track is cooler, but the tires are actually wearing out a lot more. So it'll be interesting to see if the sim is going to replicate that well for us here tonight, or if we're just going to have a lot more grip for these guys to race each other a lot harder.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a lot more grip, as cool weather usually means more grip when it comes to iRacing. So probably going to have some fast lap times on a lot of good racing here as Matt Mackin rolls out onto track to get his qualifying run underway. He is one of, if I'm not mistaken, 11 cars, nope, 9 cars to qualify yet.
It'll be interesting to watch his lap here. He can be pretty, really loose there out of turn 4 for him though, but he's got some pretty good speed in that car, so hopefully he can get himself a really nice lap time and go and run some competitive race tonight.
Watching this qualifying lap here, comes on to start his flying lap. 15.034 was his first time by, but second lap always going to be faster here. See, using the banking there a lot. That's going to be something we talk about a lot as the race starts to move to the top line. And
yeah, it's going to be
5.92. Oops, sorry about that.
Sorry, Rennick. Yeah, I was just going to comment on, the difference in line here. It's going to be really interesting to see how many guys are really committed to the bottom and how quickly we're going to want to move to the top here. Obviously, the defensive line is definitely going to be that top lane, keeping that momentum up off the straightaways, but that might be a little worse on your tires, so you might see somebody pacing themselves, looking a little slower and short on the bottom, come back and charge for the front late in the run with that line.
Yeah, because once it moves to the top, it's not going to move back down to the bottom, so it's always going to be about when do you move to the top, because in officials, I mean, it was anywhere between 25 and 55 laps, just depending on the pace of the race and how the tires were wearing. So it's all going to be determined by this first tire run, though. As again here for the Sim Wrap Market 300 here at Bristol, expected to be a very, very good race as we're finishing up qualifying here. People coming across to finish their flying laps now. 6 people yet to qualify as we got about 2 minutes left here in qualifying. But yeah, it should be a very, very fun Sim Wrap Market 300 here tonight.
Definitely really looking forward to it here. Got a really nice grouped up field in qualifying, and practice speeds look pretty similar across the board as well. I think it's going to be a real interesting race here. I think the winner could really come from anywhere in this field.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of people, and especially with how tight our championship battle is starting to get as well. I mean, it's a case. You can make a case for a lot of different people to, win a race week in and week out there. And like I said, it has been a fun year so far. So excited to see where this one goes. And of course, you got Talladega looming in weeks, which is an even bigger wild card. So yeah, a couple of interesting weeks here in the OB Builders Cup Series as qualifying just now starting to wind down. And it looks like Alex Coffey is going to take home another pole award here for the Dig Esports camp there. We'll see if he can put a race together here.
Yeah, we saw him have some really unfortunate luck last week in Darlington. Had some really good speed, and hopefully he can carry that into tonight.
Yeah, we're far enough into qualifying where we feel comfortable in reading off our starting grid. Then, of course, we already read off our top 2. Alex Coffey with a 14.359. Tim Harper with a 14.379. Sean Rogers going to be starting in that 3rd position. He was your Martinsville winner, so keep an eye on that 44. Blaine Wilson, 2nd place finisher at Martinsville. Also keep an eye on him. He starts 4th. Johnny Shade starts in 5th place. Matt Cox was also really quick in practice. Keep an eye on that number 32. Jordan Schmitz starts in 7th. Corey Moore is going to start in 8th. Brandon Bikey and Justin Belmonte are going to round out your top 10.
First car starting outside the top 10 here tonight are going to be Hunter Carmichael in the 11th position, joined by Shane Davis in 12th. He's always a threat to win these races. P13 is going to be Barry Sanders. Joining him is going to be Brandon Fetterplace in the 34 car. 15th tonight is Paul Gallimore, and starting 16th will be Matt Mackin. Victor Pfluger will round out 17th with Greg Carr in 18th. And the rest of the top 20 will be Shane Wyatt in 19th and Tim Wortman Jr. in 20th.
Starting off in 21st position here tonight, a couple of Dig Esports cars. Caden Norfrey in 21st, to his outside Nigel Christensen in 22nd. Cole Bliskowski in the number 8, going to start off 23rd with Mick King to his outside in 24th. Jamison Middlemiss and Jared Clark make up the next row in 25th and 26th. And Darren Mills is the last car to set a time here. He starts 27th. The rest of your field is as follows: Chris Davis in 28th, Aaron Matthews in 29th, Kevin Ruff in 30th, Warren Young in 31st, 32nd is going to go to Ryan Huff, 33rd and 34th are going to be Chris Spear and Nicholas Atwood. So 34 cars here tonight at Bristol, 300 laps here for the Sim Wrap Market 300, and stages sitting at 85 and 170 on the night. That's when points will be thrown out, and we'll see who has got the good cars. It's a couple of Toyotas lining up front here.
Yeah, definitely some TRD power there on the front row tonight. Be interesting to see how the manufacturers play out tonight. Obviously, got a lot of Chevys and Toyotas in the field, and as usual across the sim, not too many Mustangs out there.
Unfortunately, man, the Mustang is such an underappreciated car, and I'm already about to get cussed out by someone, so I'm going to be quiet before people start getting mad at me for liking Ford. So we'll get rolling here in just a moment. All cars are lined up on the grid, just waiting on the pace car to begin rolling. And we'll get pace laps going here to start the Sim Wrap Market 300 here from Bristol. And yeah, expecting an absolute fireworks show here tonight, as Alex Coffey and Tim Harper are going to lead the field to green here. Sean Rogers, Blaine Wilson, your second row. And yeah, like I said, expected to see some fireworks here tonight.
Yeah, we're going to get up close and personal with these cars all night. You know, this is a real fishbowl of a racetrack, so we're going to have some really nice camera angles for you guys here tonight. Going to really show off these beautiful cars and racing side by side here.
Yeah, a lot of cars to watch here, but gotta get one here. Who are you choosing here tonight, Jeremy?
And I'm going to go with Tim Harper in the 56. Qualified P2, great looking black and green Camry there. I think he's going to get it done.
Yeah, keep in mind, Harper is a rookie to this series. This is his first race in this series, and he comes out and qualifies P2 in a very stout field as well. I mean, SLS for this league reaching above 3,500 at some weeks, so not an easy feat to come here and qualify second in your first ever race. But I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball here. I'm actually looking at the 44 of Sean Rogers here. I feel like his win at Martinsville, coupled with the fact that he's always good at Bristol, I feel like he's going to be able to come through and win one here tonight. So second and third positions here are your cars to watch for our race picks, as coming around to start the final pace lap here, and before we get these guys off and racing here tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a great show. We got 300 laps of action. We're on board here with Sean Rogers on board. I believe that might be the only on-board camera we have here tonight. And we actually may have Shane Davis as well, but we'll be checking in on those guys throughout the night, Nick.
Yeah, Shane Davis starts down in, I believe, 21st. So, actually, no, he starts 12th. So, going to be a car to watch as he comes through the field here tonight. I feel like this is definitely a race where beast mode isn't as prominent up front as they usually are, but do not be surprised if they are up here later on in this race. Lights on the pace car are out as it is getting ready to make that hard left turn on towards the safety of pit road. Going to be in the hands of Alex Coffey as he enters the Sim Wrap Market restart zone. Green flag out in the air here at Bristol. Harper gets a good jump on that outside line, and he is going to have the lead immediately into turn one.
Yeah, he needs to hope that wasn't too good of a jump. It'll be interesting to see if he got a black flag here. I'm trying to look through it here. I'm not seeing anything in the sim, but there could just be something that's not showing me.
No penalties yet, but Coffey is calling for a review on that. I don't think we have any live race control here, so nothing going to be able to be done here. But Harper, for now, leads these guys on to lap 2, coming towards lap 3. Coffey is starting to catch him just a little bit, but you got to remember, the first few laps of this race, the first 20 or 30 are all about tire saving.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to want to be just painting the bottom of the racetrack, keeping your tires on it for a little bit here before you move up and start and get aggressive with it. So, you know, you might see some guy coming up forward really quickly on the top. That might not mean they have the best car. They might just be pushing their tires a little bit harder than the rest of them.
Yeah, Brandon Bikey is the biggest example of this. He is the only car consistently ripping the top here, making a ton of time on that outside line, actually up into 4th already, as he just took the fastest lap of the race. You see it there pop up at the top, 14.757. That 27 is flying right now, and he's winning 3rd from Blaine Wilson.
Yeah, he's going to be leading in a couple laps here, and I mean, maybe he knows something the rest of these guys don't know, and that car is going to fall from the top, and he's just going to go and cruise on away from them, but I'd be interested to see how those tires hold up with the way he's running right now.
Yeah, for sure. Common knowledge says he's going to fall off after about 30 or 40 laps, but I've seen some setups in officials that are able to run the top all the way throughout, so maybe Brandon Bikey has one of those setups you see there, finally moves down towards the middle on the new fastest lap for Shane Davis, first car into the 6s on the night, as I believe that was immediately beaten by someone else. As we have a caution on the racetrack here, first caution for Taz. Wrecked car, not sure who it was. Oh my god, that was a car upside down.
Yeah, so that car, he is not upside down. He is stuck driver's side pinned to the racetrack. I think he got stuck up against the wall, a la Lightning McQueen. And
wait a second.
Get back on his wheels.
Jamison Middlemiss may have just had the most interesting wreck I've seen broadcasting. As oh wow, in front of him, great car and someone else.
There. Oh, that car is destroyed, Nick.
Yeah, that car is toast, unfortunately, and unfortunately for Jamison Middlemiss, no choice but to tow here as he is currently roofed towards the inside wall. I can't say that I've ever seen that before.
That car was literally perfectly stuck in the racetrack with the left side door. I don't know how he's going to get out of the thing.
Yeah, so this wreck started way in front of him. Nick King, you saw him there at the bottom of your screen, and Greg Carr had a little bit of a extracurricular excursion, I guess is a good way to put it, down the front straightaway. And Middlemiss kind of had nowhere to go there. And you see here, he just gets wedged.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate for the 16. Really nothing he could do on that. Oh man, that car is totaled. But you know, we'll see here from his onboard up there. I think we just kind of reared him down the straightaway up there, and then we're gonna watch this.
So my question is, what is everyone's infatuation with going up in the air but not fully flipping the last few weeks? I mean, we had Coffee at Martinsville. We had, I believe it was Chris Davis and someone else at Darlington, and now Jamison Middlemiss goes for a Clint Boyer style slide on his side here at Bristol.
And I noticed something on that last camera shot. He never stopped driving that thing. He was still wiggling that wheel, and we saw those rear tires still spinning. He was wide open trying to get that car back on its tires.
Yup, he was trying everything he could to get that thing back on the rubber, and just no way he was able to get it there. So I always love a little bit of comedy to start these races, but nobody pits here as expected. Bikey actually moves up into second there. I believe he may have jumped Alex Coffey before that caution came out, but interesting start here tonight, I gotta say.
Yeah, definitely not quite what we expected to see that early here. Just trying to look through our field here. It looks like we have 2 cars taken out of the race from that wreck, unfortunately. We're at least taking out of contention, already going multiple laps down. That would be Nick King and Jamison Middlemiss.
Nicholas Atwood also has retired the car. He is disconnected from the session. Nick King, the other person to disconnect. Jamison Middlemiss looks like he's going to try to tough it out here and get back on track, as it's going to be Tim Harper up front with control of the field. He hits it early. Green flag back out in the air as they come through the Simrat Market restart zone, and Harper gets through cleanly into turn 1. Bikey follows suit.
Yeah, Harper's getting some great launches on these starts. I mean, obviously saw him take the lead in the initial start way ahead there, as they're still going to be side by side trying to sort it out a little bit further back in the top 10.
I think this is going to be a rare case of our Hornet's Nest is going to be within our top 5 here, because all of these guys so far, this has been where our racing is. This about 4th to about 11th range has been where our aggressive racing has been. And I mean, you see right here, Exhibit B, Shane Davis all the way up to the top, doing exactly what Brandon Bikey did to get a good chunk of track position early on in this race. Going to have to watch these guys' tires, though, as we move later and later into the run.
Yeah, definitely still going to be a question tire wear. Obviously, the heat cycle is going to help you there if you're biking. You're putting a little more heat in tires, get them cooled back off. Now you can go back and save a little more, and you know, could actually play out to be a big advantage for him.
Looking on board here with Shane Davis. Got a driver cam for you as well. Look at the focus on Shane Davis as he works around this place. 17 out of 300 here so far. Working towards lap 85 for stage 1. And it's going to be a quick one with how fast they're putting times down. Still on board with Davis. And that is just such a fun view to watch off of. And it looks like we have single filed out for the majority of the field. Everyone has decided that it is time to save tires on the bottom. Brandon Bikey and Shane Davis both have called it down on the top. They are saving on the bottom as well. As I say that, though, Bikey decides to run the middle just to throw me off a little bit.
Yeah, I don't even know if Bikey's really trying to run the middle there. I think his car is just naturally pushing up through the center a little more, forcing him to run a bit of a diamond, which, you know, that's absolutely okay here. There's so many different ways to take the corner, and just, I don't know if he's really got the car. It looks like it can wrap that yellow line.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't have much on that bottom, but as soon as he starts moving up, he quickly becomes one of the fastest cars on track. You see, trying to get around the 56 at Tim Harper for the lead here at Bristol. Harper holding strong on that bottom, but Bikey gonna send a dive bomb, not really able to make it stick, and Harper fends him off for now. But don't be surprised if Bikey comes back stronger next time.
These two need to be careful. Oh, we actually have a caution. Yep. Well, that's a big wreck down there in turn 3.
Oh no, I'm hearing big wreck for Jeremy, and that scares me. Oh, Kevin Ruff and I believe that it's Aiden Norfree.
There's a lot more cars. Or just those.
Oh, there's Matt
Mac in there. Yeah, there might be 6 or 7 in this one.
All right, let's get a look at this one. See, off of Kevin Ruff in the 14. I feel like this starts. Oh no. This actually starts right with Kevin Ruff and parking lot.
A lot of guys with just nowhere to go and banking, pulling some people out in front of the cars that are coming behind them.
Yeah, so Blaskowski got loose.
Yep.
Yeah, off of 4, and nobody was able to get through that the way they slid. Unfortunately, a lot of unneeded bystanders from this one, I feel like.
Matt Mackin took a really big hit there between 2 cars. Yeah, he just got loose, got down there in the 14's right rear, and then there was just nowhere to go for so many of these race cars.
Big wreck here at Bristol brings out our second caution of the night, and we're still no pit stops. So pit road completely unused by anyone who has not been involved in a wreck just yet. So still working our way towards that first pit stop cycle. As you see Darren Mills, Colt Blaskowski bringing it down pit road. These guys were involved in that last wreck, so no normal people deciding to take the pit road. Oh.
Is there almost some contact there on pit road, it looked like?
Yeah, that's what I reacted to. I was like, oh, okay, that happened.
Just some guys trying to find their pit stalls. No harm, no foul.
Oh yeah, Blaskowski slowed down just a little bit. And I think Darren Mills had a earlier pit stop than he remembered. Just got into the side of Blaskowski there on pit road. A lot of damaged cars early on in this race, as I believe our damaged car count's already up into double digits. Which, I mean, sounds like Bristol, let's be honest here.
Yeah, definitely going to be about keeping your fenders on it here as much as you can tonight. But, you know, if you get some minor damage here and there, you should be fine with trying to do whatever you can to keep the car going as fast as possible.
Yeah, and Bristol is one of the rare tracks where, you know, aero damage isn't going to hurt you too bad unless you have, like, a lot of it. But we're coming to another restart here. Tim Harper, Brandon Bikey up front, Shane Davis, Jordan Schmitz on that second row. It has become a beast mode party up front, as 3 of the top 4 are beast mode cars, as Tim Harper, the only Toyota representative. Green flag back out of the air here as Tim Harper gets going once again. It's another good launch on that inside, and he is off to the races once again.
Yeah, the car shoots out of a can on the restarts. Davis is going to be side by side here with Schmitz for 3rd. It's the first battle on the racetrack. It looks like Schmitz is going to get a big run there off the top side to clear him.
See Jared Clark there on the bottom, lapped car all ready for these guys, as Jared Clark not That car is not happy. As oh, we got a wreck here. Sean Rogers, Johnny Shade sideways, saves it though. 3 wide down the front stretch. They all think better of it. And Jared Clark just gets out of the way. He doesn't want a single part of that. So our Hornet's Nest is already starting to fire off here.
That was a solid piece of driving right there by Sean Rogers to keep that straight. It looked like it might have been his teammate Matt Cox who got into him there and got him really sideways, but those cars are all fine and going, and they got out of that lucky.
Yeah, it's really become a sort of a chess game up front between Tim Harper and Brandon Bikey. They are both running incredibly similar lap times within hundredths of a second of each other, but the other car that's keeping pace with these guys is actually Jordan Schmeets, who's only about a 10th off of Tim Harper, as back here is just a absolute war zone. Wow.
These guys are going at each other really hard for these positions right now. As the 45 is going to look at the outside here. He's going to get a run there on Carmichael. Just, I mean, every position here matters so much. Like, if you're trying to shade, you just want to pull off this pass as much as you can, get back to saving your tires. You don't want to be stuck side by side, because that's the absolute worst thing for your tires.
And Exhibit A as to why you don't run the top too early. Bikey already starting to fall off. Just trying to 14.929. I mean, Harper ran an 006 there, but Harper is stretching out the lead ever so slightly, currently sitting just over a second, so or just under a second, excuse me, as Bikey starting to fall off just a little bit from Tim Harper.
Yeah, I definitely think Bikey used the stuff up a little bit going to the top so early, but, you know, he's not really losing to anybody other than our leader right now, so he gets to a point where he can put tires on and keeps that track position. I still think he made a great decision going up there and pushing his car.
Yeah, for sure. It's all about, you know, getting track position where you can get it. Track position is just so incredibly important here. And if you're a guy that's in this, you know, absolute mosh pit for 11th, I feel like if you're on the conservative side, you just want to chill out for a little bit. Let these guys do their fighting and be there at the end. That usually leads to the best results here at Bristol. So if you're a guy like Shane Wyatt or Hunter Carmichael, I'd just be riding right here and, you know, just chilling out for a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that's what quite a few of these guys are trying to do. Obviously, the occasional pass happening back here. You know, we saw right now where you ride on board with Belmont. He's just kind of wrapping that bottom, saving his tires, minding his business. We've seen a couple guys get to his outside. He hasn't really fought them too hard and just kind of minding his P's and Q's here.
Yeah, now we're getting to a point. We're coming up to lap 40 of this race, and on this set of tires, more importantly. So we're getting to a point where these guys, we're really going to be able to tell who saved their tires and who didn't, because it's getting to a point where we're going to start to move to the top here very shortly. So we're really going to see who saved and who didn't here.
Yeah, Carmichael now is going to work to the outside of Belmont. And, you know, Belmont still, he's just staying very disciplined at that bottom. Carmichael's going to make that top work, take up that position. He's got a big run with Johnny Shade in front of him.
Yeah, for sure. And Carmichael still running that throwback from last week at Darlington to the outside of the 45 with Johnny Shade. That is, I believe, for 12th. Yes, it is. As Carmichael makes the move and now gets stuck behind Corey Moore and Matt Mackin. Of course, that 01 being involved in the wreck earlier is a lap down. So that is not for position, and Mackin is actually on fresher tires than these guys.
Yeah, this is where Bristol gets frustrating if you're Hunter Carmichael, because what can you do? You got these guys side by side in front of you. A single foul out now.
Caution! Caution on the racetrack, I believe. Oh, man. 24 machine? Ooh, man. That was Brandon Bikey, too.
You know, almost took out our leaders there. You gotta hold your brakes.
This is 24 of Ryan Huff. Let's see here. Just loops it off of 4. Gets loose off the corner and... Ooh.
Didn't hit anything. That car should be fine. I do believe he ended up towing, though, which I don't quite understand why, unless he just wanted to pick up. He almost took out Mikey and Harper. He should have just backed it up on the V apron when he was already at the bottom of the track instead of driving across the bank end.
Ooh. So the newest rookie gets a little shock there from Ryan Huff, but he keeps it going. He's still leading. I'm curious to see if anyone decides to pull it down pit road. I doubt it is already past the first pit commitment line as Matt Cox brings it down pit road. He's the first one out of the top 10 to blink.
followed by his beast mode teammate Sean Rogers. We saw those two have contact with one another, so definitely think the 44 probably wanted some new tires after that one. Interested to see how the strategy is going to work out for him and Cox.
Yeah, so strategy split early on usually spells bad news for the guys who decided to bring it down pit road early, but I feel like Bristol is the one place where you can make an alternate strategy work this early on in the race. So we'll have to keep an eye on those guys and see if they're able to get back up into the competing area of this race. As they both pitted from inside the top 10, so this is going to get interesting to see if they're able to gain any more spots because of it.
Yeah, I mean, we've run a good amount of laps here, and we have a little under 40 to go until the end of the stage here, so definitely not like a terrible call here pitting. I think they have plenty of tire sets to pit at this point in the race, so I think this could actually work out pretty well for these guys. It'd be difficult navigating the traffic, but I think that they're both good enough drivers to get through the field here. Yeah,
47 lap fresher tires is definitely something you want to have at Bristol, because these guys, I can already tell you, they are screaming for some tires here, as these guys are liable to already be in the 70s with their tire wear by now. So these guys definitely want to get to that stage break and get these tires off. Once again, Tim Harper, Brandon Bikey, your two drivers on the front row, Jordan Schmitz, Shane Davis. I feel like those two switch just about every caution as pace car pulls off the track into the sim wrap market restart zone. Green flag out in the air here. Tim Harper, another really good jump on that inside line. Jordan Schmitz, though, actually gets to the inside of the 27 and Bikey for second.
Yeah, Schmitz did a good job there taking advantage of the good launches that our leader's been getting. He's going to be racing his teammates side by side here. Bikey's going to get a good run off this corner. Should be able to keep side by side with Schmitz.
Harper has moved up, though. He's starting to run that middle line that Bikey was starting to run earlier on in this race. Everyone goes to the inside of the 7 of Chris Spear. He's going to get out of the way. Harper, Bikey still up front. Schmitz gets loose from third. Davis has to check up just a little bit. Alex Coffey now back onto the rear end of these beast mode cars. Haven't seen that since the start of the race. As Bikey now on the rear end of the 56 is Harper.
Yeah, these guys are racing pretty intense up front. Bikey's got to run to the inside of our leader.
And outside line dominance.
Yeah, that's at the point in the run here where the outside's definitely going to be coming in stronger and stronger as we run. And it's going to be even harder to make that pass. But that's why those guys who took fresh tires, I mean, we've already seen Matt Cox about to break into the top 10. You see him moving up your leaderboard there on the left side of your screen.
Yeah, he's already up into 12. Probably going to be 10th here by the end of the lap. As fresh tires were definitely the call to make, as Hunter Carmichael unfortunately has dropped out of the session due to connection issues. New fastest lap just got set. That is by Matt Cox, excuse me, 14.648 there. So yeah, Cox is definitely flying here.
Yeah, those tires are paying big dividends. I think he's going to get to there by the end of the stage here. He's got 30 laps plus to work with still, and he's already up to 9th.
Another new fastest lap brings it down to a 6:29 there. Does Matt Cox. Let's see if he sets another new fastest lap here. Probably not, as he caught up to the traffic he was catching. As Tim Harper and Brandon Bikey, their battle has cooled down up front. But don't be surprised if that picks up here as we get later and later on into the stage. 56 out of 80. 85, excuse me, is our first stage. So still about 30 laps to go for these guys.
Yeah, the even bigger advantage that you're seeing on board with the 32 here is not just the fact that the fresher tires are faster, it's the fact he can run his car anywhere on the racetrack that he wants right now and make that speed. Where the guys on the older tires are kind of pinned into the top right now and they can't really do much else.
Yeah, but the issue is now that the tires have moved to the top, so the older tire guys have moved to the top. The only issue is now Matt Cox is going to be pinched on that inside if he gets to the inside of somebody, because it's impossible, almost impossible to pass on the inside. So Matt Cox is going to hit a stone wall here as he works his way into the middle part of the run on that set of tires. So he's got some work to do for sure.
Yeah, I think the tires are just enough better that he'll be able to work them over. He may not be able to get to the lead just because he has to pass so many cars, but he's not going to be struggling to make passes. I think he'll, might take a lap or two, but he'll definitely get the passes done.
I've been keeping an eye up front between Tim Harper and Brandon Bikey, and one thing I have noticed is Bikey gets to Tim Harper, maybe makes a move to the inside or tries to show the nose just for a second, but he cannot get clear of that 56 as we got another caution on the racetrack. And this is going to...
Victor Fluger.
Victor Fluger.
And that car is done. He hit the inside wall a ton.
That car is junkyard material. Unfortunate there. For
Almost drove
one
into
of
the wall
big
there.
esports guys. Does he get some help? Ooh!
Kind of just met Barry Sanders there. It looked like Barry got a little bit loose off of 4, and Victor was kind of coming up, and they just ran out of space.
Yeah, that one hurts. See off the in-car cam of Victor Fluger. Do a little bit of wall bouncing to get it. No, I'm kidding. Not gonna do that. Let's see Fluger to the inside of Barry Sanders, and just nothing he could have done here.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely... I mean, he'll want to have pitched his exit off a little more in hindsight, but, you know, it doesn't necessarily make the contact his fault. Just kind of part of racing at Bristol, and it's one of those deals where these kind of things happen.
Well, a big old cloud has made its way over the circuit, so do be prepared for it to be kind of dark when we come back from this replay here. And it is going to continue to stay this cloudy for a while, as current weather forecast is showing overcast until about 5 p.m. in sim, which is just about an hour and a half away. So we'll be a pretty good chunk into this race by the time the sun starts to come back out.
I think we see where that overcast came from down here on pit road, as Victor Fluger is just putting a bunch of smoke up in the air for his competitors here.
Boo! Bad joke. Anyway, back to normal shenanigans here, I guess is a good way to put it.
Hey, we're gonna have a restart here with about 20 left in the stage. We got tires lined up a little bit deeper in the top 10. It looks like Cox got up to P7 here, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do on this restart. Or actually, I believe it's P6, so he'll be on the outside line here and probably gonna pick off a couple spots pretty quickly.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna fire off, but he's got the issue that there is 5 cars in front of him on the older tires, all of them whom have speed to win the stage. So this is going to be the 5 hardest passes I think Matt Cox has had to make in a while, as lights on the pace car are out, so we are coming back to green here. 65 laps into the sim route market 300 as these guys work their way down the back straightaway and come towards the sim route market restart zone on the front straightaway to get this thing back going. And we will race towards stage 1 to hand out our first stage points of the night. Tim Harper has control on that outside line. Green flag out of the air, and Harper with an incredible launch. He's actually going to get Alex Coffey clear as well on that outside.
And that's going to get Cox to the outside of Bikey. Oh, actually, no, Bikey gets a great run on the inside of Coffey there. It's going to kind of log in the 32 there, but he's already up to 4th right now from that 6th start.
Cox with the fresh tires. He's got 2 guys on old tires in front of him. Bikey on the inside, and he is just going to fly around that 27. Cuts it to the inside of the 19 of Alex Coffey, and this is all but done for Matt Cox. He is getting ready to win himself a stage, should he not burn his tires off here.
Yeah, I think the really interesting thing to me here, though, is nobody else on tires has moved through the field quite as well as the 32, so I think the 32's got a really strong piece under him.
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely got a lot of short run speed in that number 32 Red Bull machine. No, that's not a Red Bull machine, my fault. But he has definitely got a lot of pace in that 32.
I mean, it is a Red Bull scheme.
Basically, it's a Red Bull. It's a beast mode car, but with the Red Bull, it's a Red Bull car. Anyway, he takes the lead. Anyway, he takes the lead here. And he is going to sail off into the distance. Our eyes are going to stay on this battle, though, for 3rd. Starting to heat up just a little bit. Bikey to the inside of Coffey. Coffey going to have that run on the outside. And he's going to keep that 3rd spot for now.
Yeah, Bikey's done a really good job just holding on to the track position he gained early. It definitely pushed his tires really hard. I think the yellows helped with the heat cycles for him to kind of even out the extra damage he did to his tires, and he's going to challenge back for 3rd here. I think he might be a little faster than Coffey right now.
Yeah, he's definitely got the speed. Coffee definitely got lucky with that restart. But Coffee is pinching off his corners, so Bikey's going to have to be careful if he's going to get to the inside of the 19 of Coffee. And we're coming up to 10 to go here in the stage, and we've got another caution, so we're going to be setting up for a very quick turnaround towards the end of the stage.
44, Sean Rogers went around down the backstretch here.
And that was one of the guys on fresh tires and my race pick. I need to stop picking people for these races.
And that's actually going to be more so damaging to his race that he wasted a set of tires than actually physically damaging the race car here.
Oh, he got a little bit of help here from Fetter Place.
And big damage there for a 23 car, Shane Wyatt, yep. Actually, I think the 23 got the worst deal out of that one.
So Shane Wyatt's bad luck continues, unfortunately. Some Rap Market sponsored driver. A little bit getting tossed around this year, I feel like. Other than his win at Atlanta and his almost win at Homestead, I feel like he has just not had good luck this year. And you see here just compounding. Not a lot of damage though on that 23. I think he'll be fine.
And those caved in a little bit, you know, just it's going to be a question of how much damage it is and how quickly he's going to be able to get that fixed, because I do think that is going to negatively affect the race car.
Okay, fun little strategy update. Tim Harper came down pit road. He decided to pit and get some fresh tires before the end of the stage. Curious to see how this will work for that for that number 56 machine.
Yeah, I mean, first race of the season, stage points probably aren't as important to him as going out there and race for a win, so it makes sense to pit here and flip the stage.
Yeah, for sure. He'll come down, get 4 fresh tires and some more fuel in that number 56 Precision Speed Solutions race car Toyota Camry, one of the 3.
And he'll be the first one off pit road on 4. Solid stop there for him. It'll be interesting to see where he cycles out here, and might even still earn a few stage points depending on how many cars pit.
Yeah, for sure, as he's currently being scored in 6th, but of course he has not crossed the start-finish line yet to update. And I am just now realizing there is only 19 cars on the lead lap right now. So that's probably why Matt Cox had such an easy time getting through traffic, because he didn't fall back very far.
A lot of guys have been in wrecks and getting lapped, so just kind of falling off one by one. It's becoming a race of attrition here.
Yeah, I am currently showing 14 cars that are not on the lead lap right now. So we've definitely lost a lot of people here so far in stage number 1, but we're coming to another restart here. Matt Cox takes the outside line. This is going to help Shane Davis a lot here as Cox takes the green flag through the Sim Market restart zone, and we're going again.
Those are 2 teammates on the outside, and that showed right there. Definitely a really good restart to get them cleared for 1-2, as Coffee's going to fight the slide up in the 3rd.
Look at this. Aaron Matthews in the 5. He's up in 4th. Where did he come from?
Not a name we talked about a lot tonight, but this will be some really good stage points for him if he can hold on to it. He's got Bikey Hound in the back bumper of that 5 machine.
Aaron Matthews started 29th tonight. He is up in 4th and looking to get 3rd from Coffee before the stage, but looks like Matt Cox is just going to run away with this stage here as we got 5 to go, and he is already way clear of the field as he sets another fastest lap, 14.615, and you see our most positions gained there in the bottom right. Aaron Matthews at the top of that list with 24. Alex Coffey actually got to the outside of Shane Davis. That's for 2nd place, and Davis is going to lose that 2nd spot, so the restart trick did not work for Shane Davis.
Yeah, Coffey definitely just...
Oh, Bikey almost moved it off of 4.
That was an incredible save. 5 is loose now there. Track's getting slick for these guys. That was an incredible save there by Bikey to hold on to what he could. He's still going to get some stage points here.
Coming off of 4, Bikey falls back to about 8th. Yeah, he's in 8th right now, and oh my goodness, look at this, just hornet's nest in front of him. I think it's best to just lock it down and just chill out. You know, take the stage points that you're gonna get here. It's 1 to go, or excuse me, 2 to go here in the stage. No real point in fighting for any more stage points as Matt Cox gonna come off of 4. And he's already in turn 1. What am I talking about? He takes the white flag for stage number 1. Our Hornet's Nest back here still going absolutely crazy. That is from about 7th on back. Matt Cox comes off of 4 to take the stage 1 win. And we're gonna just, wow.
Great racing there for the first stage. We'll got Matt Cox with the stage points for P1, Coffey in 2nd, and Davis in 3rd round top 3, and really great job by Matthews to get 4th in the first stage.
Yeah, for sure. Jordan Schmeets comes home in 5th in that stage. That's one of his better finishes in the stages here. Blaine Wilson, Corey Moore, 6th and 7th. Actually, Jordan Schmeets just got dropped to 6th. But Corey Moore, Brandon Bikey, 7th and 8th, Justin Belmonte, and Johnny Shade round out your top 10. And those are the guys that get stage points. Matt Cox takes, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, his 2nd stage win of the year in that number 32 Beast Mode Performance Machine. And we're going to go ahead and kick it to a quick commercial break here on Ballin TV. Stay right here. We'll bring you, we'll tell you what happened about pit stops and bring you through stage 2 on the other side. Stay right here. Back live here at Bristol Motor Speedway for the Sim Wrap Market 300 here in the Moonshiners Racing League in the OB Builders Cup Series. As we just finished up stage number 1 here from Bristol. Matt Cox took his, I believe, 2nd. Gonna check on that after the race, but I believe 2nd stage win of the year in that number 32 machine. He comes down pit road along with the rest of the field, and that is gonna promote Tim Harper and Tim Wartman Jr. to the front of the field, and they will be leading the field to green to start off stage number 2.
Yeah, this worked out really well for Tim. He was definitely just pacing himself there at that stop. He finished 6 seconds behind the lead at the end of the stage, so I think he was just keeping his tires as cool as he could and wearing them as little as possible, so we'll see if flipping the stage works out for him here.
Yeah, it might, but he's got fresh tires right behind him as it's delayed green here. We're going to be waiting one more lap to send these guys off once again, get them going towards that lap 170 mark where we will hand out the final stage points of the night. And it's going to be a good one from here on out. If you're just now joining us, thank you for joining us and welcome on in. On board with Shane Davis here. Of course, he's got the driver cam going, trying to adjust it a little bit, it looks like.
Yeah, we always appreciate these driver cams. Nice to see what they see with the setups here. He's got a nice triple setup here with the monitors, and really nice
Triples? That man runs quad monitors. What are you talking about?
Well, only 3 of them are on the racetrack.
On the racetrack. That's that camera there, Jeremy. Okay, well, okay, I'll stop.
I was saying only 3 of the monitors are for the race, but he's got Discord.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm just bullying you. We enjoy bullying each other up here in the booth. Do not worry about it.
I refrained from saying that Shane Wyatt's car looked like he hit a kid on a scooter in Lubbock, Texas earlier, so.
All right. And the fact that you said it so wrong, too.
Oh, that's just what I'm here for.
All right, let's get back to the racing before we get too bad with it here. Because we're only 40 minutes in to this race session. Only been 34 minutes since the drop of the green flag, and we're already almost a third of the way through this race. So making great time here at Bristol. Pace car to pull off track. We're going to head towards the Sim Wrap Market restart zone once again. Green flag back out into the air. Tim Harper leads these guys back to the green flag for the first time since pitting.
And Cox gets cleared a second right away too, and they both gapped the rest of the field already here as we come out of turn 2.
I think we have found our fastest cars on track so far. Tim Harper and Matt Cox have both been trading fastest laps here today. Cox on the fresh tires, Harper on that bottom line, blocks Matt Cox in that 32. Cox not happy about it, sends it to the inside of the 56 of Harper, and we got ourselves a good little race for the lead here off of 4.
Yeah, Harper had a bit of a moment coming up before the previous lap. Might have kissed the wall just a little, which gave Cox that run to the inside that he had to protect from, but definitely see, yeah, Cox is just, I don't know if it's just the tires or not, but he's a lot stronger right now.
Yeah, Matt Cox, like I said, has that short run speed. I don't know about the long run capabilities of that car, but Tim Harper just needs to let him go, I feel like here. That'd be the best course of action if you're in that 56 machine.
And it's just the balance of how much you want the clean air out front versus protecting your tires a little. You already have the tire deficit if you're in 56 here, so...
Oh, caution! Who got that? I think Tim Harper keeps the lead there. Yeah, it looks like he does. And Jared Clark goes for a ride off of turn number 4. I'm gonna look and see what happened here. Does he have help, or did he just get loose again? I
believe it may have been an incident in front of him, and then he was the one that ended up going fully around. Yeah,
oh,
so
it was.
Here. He gets turned by Matt Mackin trying to check up for it.
So, not sure. Ooh, hearing things about retaliation on the
I just heard that too.
radio. What the heck?
See here, I believe they said it was Jared Clark that may have retaliated. Yeah, we can pull up a lap or two here. He did go up and hit Matt Mackin under yellow. Didn't give him any damage, didn't wreck him or anything, but he did go up there and hit him.
See if we can get a look at the replay. You see there, Matt Mackin already making some contact. This is before the wreck had even started. We'll look at this replay. I believe it was coming off of 4 the next lap. This all took place. I still don't even know who originally got turned.
There was better place here in the 34.
It was Sean Rogers, I believe, involved too. I think we went like 3 or 4 laps too far back.
And there it is. Rogers just drove into him, honestly, and yeah, 21 just got hit trying to check him forward. I don't know how much Matt Mackin could have done there, if I'm being honest. You know, you can't see through the car in front of you, so he obviously couldn't see everything the car could see.
And now we'll ride on board with Jared Clark, and we'll see how bad this retaliation was.
And he's definitely looking for him here.
It is nice enough to wait until the straight.
Yeah, I don't see too much of a problem with that.
Yeah,
just,
that was nothing.
Yeah, these drivers get a little worked up under the helmet sometimes, though. It's nothing to be unexpected.
Yeah, we'll get going once again here. Tim Harper, Matt Cox still up front. His pace car lights are out. Aaron Matthews and Shane Davis, your second row. Tim Mortman Jr. already fell back to 5th. He's got Jordan Schmeets for company on that 3rd row. He's ready to get going once again. And Tim Harper, who seems to have a good car no matter what line he starts on, chooses the bottom here. Get this race back going once again as we get towards the Sim Wrap Market restart zone. Green flag back out on the air here. Actually a pretty even start for all things considered. Tim Harper and Matt Cox side by side into 1 and 2.
Definitely the best we've seen somebody launch with Tim so far here tonight when he has had the control of the race, and Cox and his teammate Davis will clear for 2nd and 3rd.
Now I wonder if the track has already moved to the top here, as we're not seeing as many fast laps on the bottom as we saw there in stage 1. So maybe that bottom's starting to eke out a little bit less of an advantage than what we saw earlier, as Tim Harper is moving now and Brandon Bikey is making that outside work.
Oh, contact there between teammates.
Schmeets just gave the bumper to Shane Davis. No caution, but Schmeets just turned Shane Davis in the middle of 1 and 2.
Shane did a good job holding on to that, but he will not be happy with his teammate for that one.
I mean, Bikey gave him a bump too, but still. Shane Davis gets turned off the nose of Schmitz, but we still race on. Davis falls down to 18th. Maybe even 19th now. Nope, Steve stays in 18th, but he has got some more work to do in that number 79 if he wants to get back up here.
That one really checked up a lot of the field here, so his top three is gone right now, and then there's a little bit of gap to Schmitz and Matthews, who then have a bit of a gap there coloring behind Wortman, about a second on 7th, so pretty spread out here, so you could finally get like a nice green flag run here, possibly.
Yeah, 108 laps already into this race. 170 is our next stage, so definitely a good chance for a decent-sized green flag run here as Tim Harper goes to work on keeping his advantage over Matt Cox. These guys are running some quick times, though, to be tire saving, so not sure how long these guys will be able to hold these tires on as we're looking at Alex Coffey here. He currently sits in 8th, just in front of one of his teammates, actually in a sandwich of his teammates there in 7th, 8th, and 9th. As he's running down there. He was your pole sitter too, so we'll see if he's got the late race speed run, or race speed here.
Belmont working over more here. It's just really difficult to make these passes here when you're so close on speed, and we also see Sean Rogers starting to creep back into his picture as well. He's had his fair share of adversity here so far tonight, but I think he's going to be able to fight through it and get a little bit back forward this run and keep climbing towards the front for the rest of this race, maybe back in contention before the end of this thing.
Got a little bit of a battle heating up there for second up front. Bikey has gotten to the outside of Matt Cox. He's going to make that move, and he's going to move up into second. We're currently on board with Sean Rogers, our only other driver cam of the night. See, he is sitting back in 11th, right behind Justin Belmonte and those 3 Dig Esports cars.
You see nice and smooth with the wheel here for Rogers. It's what you want to see. Not turning it too far left in the corners, not really having to fight it off up the exits either, and he's just keeping it nice and clean and saving tires right now for sure.
Yeah, Tim Harper has definitely moved up. He is running that middle now on both ends of the track, not really sticking to that bottom little grip strip unless it's on the exit of turn 4. So, of course, as I say something, he goes immediately back to the bottom, but he had been running the middle for the last like 3 or 4 laps. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah, definitely going to be moving around looking for the grip. You know, it's a lot of, every time we come to Bristol, you hear a lot of people talking about how the dirt track drivers are really good at searching around, finding grip here. So, you know, that's important. You have to move around, find where the grip is, and, you know, the lanes are going to come and go throughout the course of the night. Where it's going to be the fastest might not be different, you know, 10 laps from each other. So, Bikey got a piece of the fence there working over Tim, though. He's got some pretty good momentum rolling forward right now.
Both of them slapped the wall coming off of 4. Tim Harper hit it, and Bikey followed him directly into it. So these two starting to heat up just a little bit. This is for the lead here at Bristol. 119 laps in the books. Tim Harper, Brandon Bikey fighting for the lead here as we work our way through stage number 2. Harper continuing to keep this lead, and he's currently doing his best Joey Logano impression with the aero blocking.
Yeah, nothing more he can do right now. You know, he's just using the clean air to his advantage, following Bikey in his mirror a little bit, probably seeing what lane he's picking, just trying to take away that clean air from his nose. Obviously, a bit of a tire disadvantage for our leader here, so he's got to do what he can to hold on to the lead.
Bikey just blinked out for a second. It was either Bikey or Harper, I'm not too sure, but somebody blinked out there. As Harper able to keep up in front of Bikey, and I think he's getting to the point now where the tires are starting to even up. It's been about 20 laps since the last time everyone, actually, I lied, about 30 laps since the last time people came down pit road, so definitely going to start evening off here. Remember, Tim Harper, he pitted before the end of the stage on that last caution with about 10 to go, so he is on about 11 or 12 lap older tires than Brandon Bikey is.
Yeah, and I do think that tire advantage is probably a little less than what those numbers would represent, because he was just babying it so much during those green flag laps, and obviously we had the stage yellow as well, with the delayed green, I believe, too, so probably more like 3 laps on these tires realistically compared to the competitors.
Yeah, and it's starting to even out now. You can definitely tell as Jamison Middlemas finally gets back out on track. He was sliding on his side earlier in this race, and he finally gets that number 16 back out on track. Looking on board with Shane Wyatt, currently sitting 13th.
Not quite sure how that car wasn't meatballed, because I thought I saw the suspension dangling when he was sliding across the racetrack. But, you know, good for him to get out there and try to figure out if he can gain a few spots before the end of his fingers through some other people crashing out.
Well, I mean, he only, and I say only in the sense of, I mean, it could have been a lot worse. He only lost 16 laps compared to the leaders. For sliding on your side and having both your front toe links broken, I feel like that's not, you know, that's not the worst hand you could have been dealt. Let's be honest here. Yeah,
definitely looked to be a lot worse than that. Yeah, very interesting wreck for him. And as we're watching the battle for 14th here, Johnny Shade's going to work to the outside of Corey Moore. I believe that's actually for 13th now, yes.
Well, they're going to have to pick it up here soon because Tim Harper and Brandon Bikey, your two leaders, are not too far behind these guys, and they are coming up quick as they have already caught the back end of the field, and they're starting to lap up the back markers, not bark markers, the back markers here. And this is the longest run we have had here tonight, so lap traffic really has not been too big of an issue, so this is going to get interesting here.
Yeah, and those two have checked out from Matt Cox in second, and even more so from Wortman and Schmeetz in fourth and fifth. So those two have got some really good pace right now at this point in the run. It'll be interesting to see if they've maybe been burning their stuff up. But we are on board with Tim Harper here, our leader. You can see a lot of lapped cars in front of him. He's going to have to be nice and careful through here, making sure he keeps his car in one piece.
Yeah, this is going to be a race of attrition from here on out. Who is able to survive the lap traffic? Tim Harper still aero blocking for everything it is worth on Brandon Bikey. They lap Ryan Huff. Bikey gets a good run to the inside of the 56 of Tim Harper. We are side by side for the lead here at Bristol. Bikey had a half a car length, but that run on the outside just too much, and Harper going to use Matt Mackin as a pick now, hopefully. And it looks like he will, as Bikey's going to have to back off for a little bit.
And Mackin left him in the lane there, and that was a good advantage for Harper to reset this battle and put Bikey back behind again. You know, at this point, I don't even feel Harper's aero blocking. I think they're both just running the top because that's where the track is right now. Bikey definitely seems to be much better center off, though.
Well, we got 35 to go here in stage 2, and we're already fighting tooth and nail for the stage win. Who will come out on top in this one? Bikey, Harper. Harper gets a little bit loose. Bikey sees it. He is on the rear bumper of the 56. Bikey gets a little bit loose in the middle of 2, hits the wall, and backs off a little bit.
These two racing each other through his lap traffic. That gap to Matt Cox has been coming down steadily the last several laps. I think that 32 is saving tires, and he's going to come back up to these guys. Yeah,
for sure. Harper and Bikey are currently running high 2s. I mean, Harper just ran a 298. Bikey a 463. This last time by Harper a 377, and then a 258 for Bikey. Cox is running a 217, so definitely faster is that number 32 machine, and he is catching quickly. So this is going to become a 3-car battle for the lead here late on in stage number 2.
Yeah, Cox is definitely coming. Bikey's got to try to get this pass done before 32 gets here, because it's going to be a lot easier to defend from the lead than it will be from second.
Now, the only advantage for Tim Harper right now is he has a good chunk of clean air. Everyone decided to clear up and speed up just a little bit, so Harper doesn't really have a lot of dirty air to deal with. The next lap car is Darren Mills, about 8 or 9 tenths of a second up the road, maybe just over a second. So Harper definitely has some clean air to work with here, but Cox is catching quickly.
Yeah, Bikey, we see it keeps getting to the inside of Harper, gets so close to being clear. It's just so hard to make that pass work on the bottom of the racetrack right now, and he's going to be hounding that position as long as he can. Cox is basically there.
To the inside is Bikey. Has a run on the inside line, but that outside line is just way too powerful to fight here, especially once you get a lot of laps on these tires like these guys do. Harper's coming up on 60 on these tires, Bikey coming up on 50.
Yeah,
oh, and Harper may be done.
Cox is definitely there now. This will be interesting. We'll see. I think Cox is definitely a little bit better than Bikey, so it'll be interesting to see if he can make the bottom work for his pass. He's still just been running down there and gaining on these guys.
Yeah, for sure. He's going to have to move up, though, if he wants to make the move. Fresh tires is only going to get you so far. I mean, it gets you second place there as Cox gets past Brandon Bikey, but with the way Harper's been running that top line, I don't know if Matt Cox will be able to get around that 56.
That's the teammate, so that's definitely going to be the easier pass of the two. It'll be interesting to see how much more of a fight Tim Harper can put up there than Bikey did to his teammate.
Yeah, we're coming up on some more lap traffic. These guys are going to come around and lap Jamison Middlemiss again. They're still working their way up to Darren Mills, but after that, the next car is Colt Bliskowski, so not a lot of lap traffic still. As, ooh, Cox gets to the inside. That's for the lead. Harper gets loose. Bikey back to the outside of the 32 of Matt Cox. Side by side for the lead here at Bristol. And Harper has that run off the top, but it was not as much as it was against Brandon Bikey.
Yeah, 32's definitely got the strongest car here out of this bunch. Did a great job saving his tires. He's going to be working over to 56 looking for his lead.
Looks like this may be a lot easier of a pass than we first thought. As I say that, though, Harper got a really good run off of 4 there. He's going to get another decent run off of 2 side by side into 3. Matt Cox almost looks like he's got the move done, but he just does not have a good car off of 4.
Slowly inching further ahead each corner they do this, so he doesn't really need to force it right now. I think it will eventually just work itself out for him if he just stays disciplined and runs his line. As I say it though, Harper had a better 1 and 2 that lap.
He's going to have a better 3 and 4 here. Bikey gets loose in the background. Way loose is that number 27. Cox gets clear though, tries to slide up, but Harper just has the better run. Still even. Yeah, Matt Cox is going to get clear that time by. That was an easy move there for Matt Cox.
And that was important for Cox, as Harper's going to try to fight him back on the inside here now, though, as we saw the gaps closing down throughout most of the field as those two were battling, definitely losing a lot of time.
Yeah, they definitely burned their tires off. Brandon Bikey and Tim Harper did. So looks like Matt Cox, for the time being, well on his way to sweeping both stages, as he has definitely had the car to beat here. I believe he's only got 1 win on the year as well, so looking for his second win.
And here comes Bikey looking to the inside of Harper for second now. That one's going to be done in quick order.
Yeah, Tim Harper, unfortunately, burned his tires off a little bit too quickly there. He has got some work to do as we have crossed 15 to go here in the stage. Working our way to lap 170 once again. Look at this hornet's nest. What the heck?
Yeah, quite a few guys in different situations here. We got the lapped car there in 21. Obviously just trying to work around him safely as these guys all battle for position here.
Oh, we're 3 wide. Oh, no. Oh, that got scary.
Oh, man, they got really tight up there off of turn 4, too.
Got about 13, 14 laps to go here in the stage. Make it 13. As we're still watching these guys just throw haymaker after haymaker. I think this is for around 15th, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, these guys are not even battling for points, but they are short racing like it back here. This is definitely the most intense action on the racetrack at the moment.
I tell you what, though, this may not be over, because the Dig Esports cars of Blaine Wilson and Alex Coffey, they're starting to catch Bikey, and they're also catching Matt Cox, too. So this may not be over for the stage.
Yeah, definitely closing up a little bit out front there as we see Harper has fallen all the way back to 5th. Definitely used up the good years on that 56 machine. He'll be looking to correct that on the next run of the race, but we're on board with Alex Coffey following his teammate here. These two are definitely making really good time. Is he gonna maybe, no, not quite yet look under his teammate, but I think he's gonna be looking to make that pass sooner than later.
Bikey may have overheated his tires as well. That's probably why he fell off originally, because he's currently 2/10 faster than Matt Cox. So Matt Cox may have burned his tires off as well, as Coffey and Blaine Wilson are looking to try and catch these guys using some plate racing tactics here at the Last Great Coliseum.
Yeah, Bikey is 2 Cox now, too. These two get to battling. That's going to make Coffey's job even easier going and getting to these guys before the end of the stage.
It looks like Bikey's going to run into the same problem he did with Tim Harper just not able to get out of the dirty air and get, you know, the run he needs in order to take the lead here from Matt Cox. As we're coming up to the end of the stage here, coming to take 6 to go. Alex Coffey's there. He is there. I feel like it is safe to say he is there for the stage win. And we're coming to 5 to go. Bikey's starting to fall off now. Cox starting to grab that advantage back, but these guys are very even in terms of lap time.
And Coffey's come from way back this stage too, so that 19 car's got some really good long run pace. He's going to be looking to see if he can make some quick work with these two in front of him, get himself a stage win. It's going to be a really good battle between these 3 guys here.
Yeah, Alex Coffey has not had luck on his side this year. He has had a rough season, so if he is able to show that he is not just a mid-pack merchant here, he will be able to put his name into the hat to be able to possibly win a championship, because Coffey, he is one of the fastest drivers week in and week out, has just not had the luck. And if things go right, he's got a chance to pick up a stage win here as he's to the inside of Matt Cox. That's for the lead as well, so Coffey is racing for a stage win here. 3-car battle for the stage as we come to take 2 to go in stage 2.
Yeah, definitely a really tight battle here. Coffey keeps looking to the inside. It's going to be really hard to complete this pass on Matt Cox, so that car is really strong on the top coming off the corners.
1 to go here in the stage. Coffey makes his move to the inside. Bikey loops it off of 4. Alex Coffey and Matt Cox side by side for the stage win. They got some lap traffic to deal with. Clark gets out of the way. 3 wide here for the stage win. Coffey gonna shoot the gap. He gets a little bit of contact from Jared Clark, and Matt Cox sweeps the stages here at Bristol. Wow.
Jared Clark is multiple laps down. Coffey's not going to be happy with that one. Just really unfortunate. I think he had that pass done, but Matt Cox wins the stage here in an incredible battle for the finish.
Wow. Alex Coffey had that stage won, and unfortunately gets clipped by Jared Clark for the stage win, and Matt Cox, by the skin of his teeth, sweeps the stages here tonight at Bristol.
Yeah, we're going to get a replay of this incredible finish here. I do believe Jared Clark held his line, but I think Coffey's just going to be wishing that he would have lifted out of it. But I think Clark was fighting the stage just 1 lap down there, so just really hard racing.
I like the move from Coffey, but this long left in the race, that was risky.
And they almost got into a 5 too.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
a lot of race cars and a very small amount of racetrack.
Well, stage results are as follows. Matt Cox, of course, sweeps the stage as Alex Coffey comes home in 2nd position here in stage 2. Brandon Bikey rounds out your top 3. Blaine Wilson and Jordan Schmitz are your top 5. Sean Rogers, Justin Belmonte, Tim Harper, Barry Sanders, and Shane Davis actually ends up getting back up into the stage points. That rounds out your top 10. And we'll go ahead and send it to another quick commercial break here on Ballin' TV. Same deal as last time. We'll run you through pit stops and take you through the start of stage 3 right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we welcome you back here to Bristol Motor Speedway. Quick reintroduction here as we're already coming to a restart here for the Sim Rap Market 300, lap 175 out of 300, as Alex Coffey and Matt Cox are your leaders. Nick Stein, Jeremy Miller, here with you on the call. It has been a good race so far. Had an electric in the stage number 2 and hoping for the same here in stage 3.
Yeah, been a really great race as we presenting here with some Wrap Markets 300. We're at lap 176. We got a little over 100 left here. It's going to be interesting to see if we can get some really close battling towards the end of this run here like we did there. If we do, we'll be in for a treat.
And here's a fun little tidbit for you. I don't think they're going to be able to make it to the end. Both fuel and tires should run out before these guys are able to make it to the end of this race. So if it goes similar to stage 2, we could be in for some green flag pit stops here late on in this race as we're coming to the Sim Wrap Market restart zone to get this race back going here. Green flag out in the air, and Alex Coffey takes that outside line advantage and uses it all.
He's got his teammate Blaine Wilson behind him, trying to pull him clear for second on Matt Cox, which he... Oh, big contact there between those two.
Blaine Wilson and Matt Cox almost get into each other coming off of turn number 2. No love lost and nobody hurt, so we stay green here. Jordan Schmeets using that outside line. Caution on the racetrack.
I believe Tim Harper just got turned in turn 1 there.
Oh, no. Apparently Shane Davis was involved in some way here. See Shane Davis all the way to the outside.
Yeah, I just kind of drove into his left rear and turned him there. Obviously nothing intentional there, just a bit of a mistake on Shane Davis's part.
Yeah, there was a big checkup in front of him as Sean Rogers checked up a little on that outside line, which caused Tim Harper to check up, and unfortunately for Shane Davis, in that span of a time, in that blink of an eye, there was just not enough time to react for the 79. As you see here, how quickly this happens.
Yeah, nothing Tim could do there. He was just along for the ride. Shane just kind of wasn't expecting them to check up as much as they did on entry and got into him.
Unfortunate circumstances there, but unfortunately, that is just racing in Moonshiners. It's going to be close. It's going to be rough, but at the end of the day, you can't really do much about it. We're actually going to pull up Alex Coffey for a quick little interview here. Alex, how's the race going so far for you?
It's going all right. That first pit box from getting the pole is definitely helping. So we're doing good so far. It's gonna be a long stretch here if we can get a green run. So let's keep our stuff under us, and hopefully nobody else does.
Well, we saw at the end of stage 2, you had a rocket ship in that number 19. Is this kind of what we expect for the rest of the race? Did you finally figure out that adjustment you needed to make?
Yeah, I think if we can get another long run, it'll be pretty similar to what happened there. I feel like I had a run at the stage when there, where we came up on some lap traffic in a bad time, and I'm just glad I didn't water up.
Yeah, that got very close. Definitely got a little excitement going there. Well, good luck in the rest of the race. I see we're coming to 1 to green, so I'll let you get back to your race.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
That was Alex Coffey. Almost won stage 2 there, but unfortunately, just wrong place, wrong time for Alex Coffey. He comes home second in that second stage as we get ready to get this race restarted. It is going to be Dig Esports up front once again. Alex Coffey, Blaine Wilson first and second, as they have really come into the fray with their new Precision Speed Solutions partnership in that Dig Esports camp. So Dig Esports is definitely here to stay as they come to take another restart here towards the Sim Wrap Market restart zone. We'll get this race going once again. This green flag back out of the air here. We are going at Bristol, and Alex Coffey gets another good jump on that inside. Blaine Wilson having to defend from the 22 of Jordan Schmeets.
A really good run for Schmeets on this restart. He's almost into the back of Coffey as he gets into Blaine Wilson. Some big contact there in turn 3. I don't know if Wilson's going to be happy with that one. Looks like the 22 just kind of washed into his door a little.
Schmeets thought about 3 wide. Coffey saving tires. He wants no part of this as Blaine Wilson takes the lead. Jordan Schmeets, Sean Rogers making every use out of that outside line. Matt Cox hops up there as well.
Yeah, I mean, we get the long green flag running, and I think Coffee is completely content with losing this track position right now and just protecting those tires. As we saw, he had a great car on the long run in the last run.
Yeah, for sure. He's currently running 15.4s compared to up in the lead. Jordan Schmeets with a 14.8, Sean Rogers at 83, and then Matt Cox runs a 15.0. So lap times are definitely a lot quicker compared to Dig Esports and Beast Mode Performance currently.
Yeah, a lot of pushing right now out of these cars. We're looking at Blaine Wilson here, who slotted himself in the 4th. He has Bikey coming up behind him. That's a guy who we've been seeing pushing a lot of the race. Really good car, so we'll see if he can cut his way up through back towards the front here.
Yeah, and behind these guys, I mean, you got Corey Moore, Shane Davis, and Shane Wyatt is also back up here after being involved in a wreck earlier on in this race. So a lot of cars playing survival of the fittest at Bristol, and it's seemingly working for a lot of these guys.
Yeah, I mean, we have definitely cleaned up the racing a good bit, so definitely gonna see people more content with saving it now as we ride on board here with Shane Davis and get another look at that camera that he's provided for us here tonight.
On board with the 79 here, you see tire saving in full effect here. I think a couple of these Beast Mode guys realized, oh wait, we don't need to push this early on, as Bikey works to the outside of the 18 of Blaine Wilson, and Davis is going to follow suit.
Yeah, Bikey's definitely pushing his stuff like he was earlier, I believe, on the outside. And, you know, out of all the guys we've seen do it, I do think he's held on the most, but it definitely did bite him on the long run last time. We saw him almost lose it out of turn 4 towards the end of that stage.
Tell you another car that's really pushing here. It's that 56 of Tim Harper, who got turned on the last caution. He restarted this race all the way at the back in 18th, and he's already well inside the top 10, and he just slotted down in between Corey Moore and Alex Coffey as we get a caution here at Bristol. Feels like a perfectly timed caution if you're that 56 of Tim Harper.
Johnny Shade, I believe, has contact with a teammate back there in the 23 car of Shane Wyatt.
Gonna look at this replay. Shane Wyatt and Johnny Shade apparently go for some extracurriculars. See Tim Harper go flying by on the outside there.
I don't see Shade in the picture here. It's interesting to see how here he comes.
Oh, there
on
he
the
is.
outside. Oh, he got help from the 60 car, knocked him up into Wyatt, and then, or sorry, knocked him up into Shade, and that's what set that one off.
Ooh. How did Shade Wyatt not get cleaned out there? There's like 5 or 6 cars that should have taken him out there, and he somehow did not get hit by a single one of them.
Definitely everybody doing a great job there avoiding the sliding cars. We're going to ride on board with Belmont here. Just overdrove the entry and got into the 23. No other way to really cut that one up.
And you see, oh my goodness, we need an onboard of Shane Wyatt, please. I got to see how close that was. Because that could not have been more than a couple of inches that like 3 or 4 cars almost destroyed him by. Now look at this replay here. Off the roof cam. Down into the 3 here, you see the bump there. It's into Johnny Shade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars that should have hit him there.
Shane did a great job too, locking it down and, you know, being as predictable as possible in that situation.
Yeah, he gets it going. No damage on that 23. I think the only damage might be, you know, a new set of underwear for the 23. But he is good to go once again, and I think he only lost 3 or 4 spots, if I'm not mistaken. I'm showing him in 5th, so he may have gotten all of his spots back from that.
Yeah, it's a fortunate break there, but be curious to see how those tires hold up here. Actually, I wonder, maybe we missed some pit stops.
No pit stops, I don't think.
But he was not running when that happened, so...
I was going to say, how did he just gain like 4 spots there?
We must have missed some stops there on that one, because he was not running 5th, so I don't believe that was him getting spots back.
No, because there's nobody that was running in front of him behind him, other than those that were directly around
Oh yeah,
him.
there were pit stops. Tim Harper came down, Corey Moore came down, a bunch of them. Looks like Shane Davis was the first one down from 5th there.
Okay, so basically everyone pit where Shane Wyatt stayed out.
Yes, so 6 on back did take tires here, I believe.
So your top 5 do not take tires, and your top 4 are all beast mode cars who have been known to push early on in these runs. So interested to see where tires sit, especially for your top 4. So this is going to be interesting here as we're coming to another restart here. Jordan Schmid, Sean Rogers up front. As we head towards the sim wrap market, restart zone is going to be in the hands of Jordan Schmitz. Great flag out of the air here once again at Bristol. And Schmitz gets a huge jump.
Yeah, big jump there for the 22 out in front of his teammates Bikey and Rogers, and then another teammate Cox there in 4th. And well, they'll have another teammate coming up here in 5th with Shane Davis on fresh tires, followed by Tim Harper. Those two are going to be charging to the front.
Look at this advantage that Fresh Tires has. Oh my goodness. It hasn't been but 15 or 20 laps since the last time a lot of these guys pit. And just the advantage that Shane Davis and Tim Harper have is just absolutely insane.
Yeah, and the other thing, actually, I do believe those guys should have put themselves in the fuel window at that pit stop as well. I'm not so sure if the people that stayed out are going to be able to make it here or not.
Yeah, these guys that stayed out definitely, wow, it may actually get tight. Harper and Davis, they're going to have to do some tire saving if they want to make it to the end. 90 laps on tires, not a fun experience here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Tim Harper is already charged around Davis. He's going to take the lead from Smeets here in no time, and then I think he should just park it on the bottom and save tires. That's what I would do.
See a little note there from our producer DJ with Jeremy's predictions on fire there.
He said calculator.
Calculator is on fire, sorry. I read it wrong. New leader Tim Harper back up into the lead for the first time since middle of stage 2. He is leading laps again, and he needs to pick these or pull these times down as we got a caution here. Another perfectly timed caution for the 56 of Tim Harper. Darren Mills is what we're hearing.
And this will definitely help those fuel numbers out for everybody that's been looking at those.
If you're Tim Harper, you just pulled off highway robbery. And I'll explain why after this replay. Johnny Shade gets a little bit loose. Chris Spear nowhere to go, and Darren Mills goes for a ride and almost gets creamed a couple more times.
Somebody hit the outside wall really hard trying to miss Mills there, I believe. I'm not quite sure who it was, but they cut Mills' brake. Just some contact there off the corner. It caused this one. We'll see on the onboard here. It was
Davison middle miss. Oh no!
Unfortunate day for middle miss here.
All right, now I'll explain. Actually, we'll get an onboard here from middle miss. You see, he is nowhere near this, and he sees Darren Mills. Yeah. Not going to touch that one. Anyway, back to why Tim Harper just pulled off some highway robbery. Well, he restarted that race back in 8th. He is your leader right now, and he pushed as hard as he can to get up to this lead, and that caution could not have come at a better time for Tim Harper. Literally no more perfect.
To add to that, the restart before, he was 18th. So he has skyrocketed to the front. Got some damage on the right front of that car still. I don't think he's going to worry about that too much. I think he'll just be happy that despite all the things that have worked against him to be in the situation he is, he's gotten back up to the lead and has a chance to control his destiny.
And remember, he is a rookie in this series too. So he's coming in here, first race in this league. I mean, obviously, he knows a lot of these guys because he races with them in officials, but, I mean, he's coming in this league, and he's putting butt whooping on for the most part.
Yeah, I don't think he's had the strongest car on the long runs. I think that's definitely been Alex Coffey, Matt Cox. I think those two have been two of the best cars we've seen on the long runs here so far tonight. I think Coffey more so, but definitely a great showing for his first race here. I mean, he's been in the lead for probably the most laps so far. I don't have the exact figure in front of me, but don't remember somebody else leading as much as he has.
Yeah, and he also started a new team in here, actually bought Precision Speed Solutions into this league, so now it's an actual team, not just a third-party setup community. But Tim Harper gonna pull it towards that sim wrap marker, restart zone, green flag out in the air once again, and Harper gets another good jump. Schmitz and Davis pretty even, and Bikey hops down into that inside line pretty quickly, and Harper is just gonna run.
Yeah, Harper's been great on the restarts all night. Schmitz and Davis are going to settle in here. I think Davis will make quick work of Schmitz, as we saw Harper do with those better tires as well. And we got Shane Wyatt after his spin in fourth right now, fighting with Sean Rogers.
Yeah, we're working our way through lap 212 here, coming to take 213, just under, 90 laps to go. And now you're starting to get into the area where you feel comfortable going to the end on tires. So anywhere between here and about 60, I would not be surprised to see a lot of pit stops if we get a caution. Or excuse me, if we get a caution between here and about 240, I would not be surprised to see a lot of people come down pit road.
And I don't have an exact count on the tire sets, so I mean, if somebody's got one set left, maybe not, but if they have multiple sets left, they'd be crazy not to take them if that's the situation that plays out here.
Yeah, because we're quickly going to a point where long run speed isn't going to mean anything. So if you're Alex Coffey right now, you are praying that this thing goes green to the end. But if you're someone like Tim Harper, who's up in the lead right now, you're hoping that these guys wreck it up here in the final 85 laps. So it is going to be interesting to see how the two dynamics play out here. Harper pushing, Coffey saving. So we'll have to see how those two fare.
Yeah, we got to keep an eye on Matt Cox as well. You know, back there in 15th, I think he's definitely saving right now. I don't think that's where he's running on pace. So definitely think these guys are betting on some green flag runs here and hoping to make their tires last the best to the end.
Well, Tim Harper is definitely putting push into perspective here. He's already pulled out 1.3 seconds, but he is going to be a standing duck here soon, or a sitting duck, I should say. Here in about 20 or 30 laps time as the tires start to wear off. But like I said, he is just preying on some cautions here, so we'll see how this all plays out. He's going to stick to the bottom, it looks like, but going to move our eyes to some other battles on track here. Jordan Schmitz and Aaron Matthews side by side. That is actually for third.
Yeah, this has been an impressive run out of Aaron Matthews here tonight. He's been really quiet, but we've seen him work his way into these really good positions quite a few times tonight, getting great points in the first stage. Got quiet again for the middle of the race, but here he is back at money time, P3, working on P2, Shane Davis.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those where if the race is chaotic enough, he will be up there. He's definitely got speed for, you know, he's a top 10 car week in and week out, but if the chaos meter decides to hit the absolute max here like it has tonight, then he's the one that usually you know, gains the most out of everyone's chaos. So him sitting up in second right now and actually chasing down Tim Harper now puts himself in a really good spot here.
Yeah, and it's always really nice to see, like, you know, guys that, you know, usually run top 10, but, you know, might not find themselves battling for wins, get up there in front and have a really good week like this. So really happy to see him up there. Hope he can keep capitalizing on the situation and maybe even pull himself off a win here.
Now, I wonder if Tim Harper only needed the clean air for him to figure out his long run speed, because he is still pulling on Aaron Matthews, and we're coming up on close to 20 laps on these tires, which is usually the fall off point, but Harper still seems to be gaining bit by bit.
Yeah, definitely a lot more discipline to the bottom of the racetrack than we've seen him throughout most of the race, but he did use these tires up on the top a little bit to get to this situation, a little more in the middle on this end, but definitely, I think, being more conscious of his decision making with the tires right now than we may have seen earlier when he fell off really hard.
Yeah, for sure. 75 to go here. Just took 74. Actually, yeah, just took 74. So still got a long way in terms of Bristol standards to go here. But do not be surprised if things get turned on their head here to finish off this race, as it usually does with these guys.
Yeah, he's definitely still gaining right now. It makes me question if he is pushing a little bit too hard, but I mean, if he's got it figured out and he isn't pushing too hard right now, this could just be a easy drive for him to the end of the race.
Yeah, Harper's still pulling here. 1.9 is the current gap. Just waiting to see when Tim Harper falls off, or if he even falls off, because right now he's looking Kyle Larson levels of speed right now.
And I'm also curious to see when we see the 1932 who you see on the left side of the screen sitting there in 14th, 15th start to pick their ways back forward, because we know those guys have really good long run pace, and they're definitely both just saving right now. And as crazy as it sounds, that could be your battle for the win right now, sitting in 14th and 15th.
And don't count Blaine Wilson out either, right in front of these guys. He's also saving tires, so if this thing goes green, I think we got a three-way battle for the win brewing in 13th, 14th, and 15th, and that does sound insane to say.
Yeah, it definitely does not sound right, but in the context of the race we've been watching, we know who's been good and when they were good. I think those guys are absolutely still contenders right now.
Yeah, Wilson just ran a 15.123. Others around him running 14.9s, 15.0s, 15.1s, and 15.2s. So kind of smattered out throughout, or scattered out are the times, but Tim Harper just fell off into the 15.0s for the first time. So it's starting to swing in the way of those two Dig Esports cars in 13th and 14th, and of course Matt Cox in that Beast Mode performance car in 15th. So
interesting. Interesting thing about the camera angle we were just seeing there, I just wanted to comment on. The cool thing Bristol does is during the race weekends, they actually have a live feed up on their website where you can just watch from this angle right here on their website. The race is going on. It's a really cool view of all the action that takes place here. I just love looking at this place like this.
I feel like this is the prime spot to sit in if you want to sit at Bristol, because, well, obviously you can't sit this high up, but that end of the track definitely seems like a prime spot to sit because you can see literally everything. So I feel like that would be a really good spot to sit.
Yeah, there's not a bad seat in the house. That's what makes it such a special place, and that's what makes winning here so important. I think that's why you've seen the guys racing the way they have been tonight. Every race car driver ever loves this racetrack.
All right, well, you were wondering when it was go time for Alex Coffey, Matt Cox, and Blaine Wilson. Well, that time is now, as Coffey has picked up the pace. He has passed Blaine Wilson for 13th, and he is currently working his way towards Brandon Fetter place, but Alex Coffey has decided it is go time in that number 19.
Yeah, and, you know, go time might even just not be that he's pushing harder. It could just be that everybody's starting to fall off a little more too. So definitely think there's probably more in the tank still for these guys, but I mean, we could be proven wrong. We could be completely missing on this one. It'd be really fun to watch what these guys do. It's only 60 to go, so they need to start climbing now.
Well, Tim Harper is also starting to fall off as well. He just ran a 15.123. Aaron Matthews with a 112, but Matthews was about a tenth and a half quicker the last time around, so maybe Tim Harper started to fall off. It could have just been him catching some lap traffic, but Tim Harper possibly starting to lose the life out of his tires just a little bit.
Yeah, definitely, and you know, the lap traffic will couple with that, right? He's going to be in dirtier air, tougher situations. Right now, obviously, clean racetrack for him, but you know, when the tires are starting to go and you're around more race cars, it can be even more of a vulnerable situation for your race leader.
Yeah, for sure. Already starting to catch a lot more lap traffic here. Looking up the road, Johnny Shade and Nigel Christensen would be the first cars to catch for the 56. So they're working their way through 3 and 4 now. So he's got a little bit of clean air, but it's definitely starting to get to that point where it's going to start affecting that 56.
Yeah, if we look at our lap times over on the left side of our screen, 15.3 from our leader, 15 flats from those guys that we've been covering down there in 13th. So definitely think it is starting to trend in their direction.
And you see Wilson there with a 14.929 as well. So Blaine Wilson may have backed it up just a little bit more than we thought as well. So do not be surprised if those guys start flying up the leaderboard very quickly.
And we have a position change here as Shane Davis is going to work his way past Matthews for P3, and Sean Rogers following closely behind here. I think Matthews might have used up his stuff just a little bit, and he's starting to struggle a little.
Now, here's the surprising thing to me. I thought Tim Harper was going to fall off a lot more aggressively. That's not saying he hasn't hit that fall-off point yet, but I figured by now that Shane Davis, Aaron Matthews, and Sean Rogers all would have caught him by now. But, I mean, their times are strikingly similar as Matthews hits the wall there defending from the 44 of Sean Rogers. But you look at lap times, they're pretty darn similar between your top 4 right now, as Rogers works to the inside of Aaron Matthews. But Davis is definitely starting to catch up just a little bit to Tim Harper.
Yeah, Davis's lap times are a lot more consistent right now is what I've been noticing. Tim Harper has these laps every once in a while, like right here he just ran a 38 and, well, you know, only a 36 out back, so definitely interesting. Obviously, we don't have on the screen now. It could be a traffic situation. Ooh, 3 wide there for Alex Coffey working through some lap traffic. And Matt Cox is now going to work for that same traffic. These two are coming as they have caught the back bumper of Fetter Place already.
Yeah, it's going to be a question, though, of when does this track move to the top? We know it's going to happen. We know that it is going to be like a snap of a finger. It's just a matter of when does it happen.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not really like a set thing when it happens to. Like, it is all completely situational. I mean, if you have clean air and your car's better on the bottom, run the bottom. Even at the top is where most people are, you might be fine down there. So right now we're side by side in front of Coffey here. He's going to have to try to work through these guys as quickly as possible. He can't really afford to lose too much time battling these cars that he's been saving tires in comparison to.
You see Jordan Schmitz there. He was up front not too long ago. He has fallen off pretty hard. Just lost 13th to Coffey. Coffey to the inside of Fetter Place. That's going to be for 12th. And that advantage is already starting to show up.
These passes are looking just as easy as he needed them to look. And that is huge for him. The gap is shrinking to the leader for him. He was 8 seconds back, I believe, at one point. It's already almost 5 seconds.
Tim Harper and Shane Davis, though, up front are almost dead even. Shane Davis, listen to this, 2 1/1000ths of a second slower that last lap. They just crossed the line again to take a new lap, and Davis was about a 1/2 tenth slower, but like I said.
Yeah, we got Tim Harper is blinking here as the leader. That is not what you want to see when you're leading this race. Probably getting that packet loss pop-up, which is new to iRacing. The simulator can penalize you now for a poor internet connection and park your car for it. So definitely not something that he's going to want to look. He's going to need to pay close attention to that.
Davis with a 299, Harper with a 441. I think it's starting to switch in favor of Davis here, as we're coming up on 40 to go.
And I'm going to say it is safe to say none of this matters. Alex Coffey or Matt Cox are going to win this race if it goes green.
Well, currently Alex Coffey has a couple of seconds, just a little bit under 7/10 of a second over Matt Cox. And Coffey's getting ready to snap into the top 10 for the first time this run. So as Belmonte gets a little bit loose there, Coffey going to keep it on that outside line. Almost hits the wall there for just a moment, but I feel like that is just a minor inconvenience for Alex Coffey right now.
Yeah, it's getting a lot harder to pass back here, though, which could be an issue for him. I mean, he looks so much faster than these guys, but if you can't clear him, you can't clear him. So that could be the one factor that dampens his chances here, because this is a real mess back here.
Yeah, he just got past Justin Belmonte there, working his way past Tim Wortman Jr. It's to the outside of the 83. He's got 4 more cars to get through before finally a little bit of clean air for that 19. But yeah, this is just a mess here. Thought about 3 wide there. I saw it.
Yeah, I thought better of it was the good thing there, because that would have been a crash. And they are now 3 wide.
3 wide here. Contact between Moore and Tim Wortman Jr. Somehow making that work. And Alex Coffey gets 2 spots in the span of a corner. Wortman gets loose. Brandon Fetter Place goes sliding down the front straightaway. Keeps it straight. No caution. Alex Coffey is cheering in his rig, I bet.
One word for Brandon Fetter Place, and that is wheelman, because that was a hell of a save.
Coffey up into 7th. 4.8 seconds is the gap. Up front, your gap has actually stretched out to 1.3 seconds as Tim Harper has caught lap traffic now.
Yeah, lap traffic's definitely going to play even more of an effect on handling, like we were speaking about earlier. You know, everything that's wrong with that car right now for him is going to be worse when he is in behind last car. Shane Davis is closing that lead a little bit quicker now, and you know, before too long, we're going to see some of those guys that have been saving tires coming up to them as well.
Yeah, my eyes are going already back to Alex Coffey. He's sitting in 7th. He has lost Matt Cox and Blaine Wilson. They are still fighting their way through traffic, through that absolute hornet's nest that he had to fight through. Matt Cox is now getting ready to pass Shane Wyatt and be clear of all that, but Blaine Wilson is still dead in the middle of it. So Alex Coffey is trying to pull as much time as he can over the 32 of Matt Cox.
Yeah, the only thing I'm questioning right now is if maybe we underestimated how well Shane Davis was saving his tires up there, because his lap times have actually taken a step in the right direction right now, and that is the fastest car on the racetrack.
Ooh, Barry Sanders almost loops it off of 4 as well. Yeah, Shane Davis, this is going to be an easy pass for Davis.
Yeah, and Sean Rogers is following suit behind him too. Harper's not going to have anything to fight these guys.
Harper has gone firmly from I want a lot of cautions to I need a caution in that number 56 camp. So, yeah, Tim Harper needs a caution incredibly bad here as we cross 30 to go here at Bristol.
Yeah, we definitely hasn't had the best long run car tonight, and I think that's what we're seeing here, but also some right front damage from some early incident. You can see there on the splitter pushed up a little bit on the right there, and we know the fender's knocked in a little, probably making it a little worse than it's been the rest of the night.
Alex Coffey just made a move for 5th. He's to the inside of Aaron Matthews. That's going to be an easy move with how much better tires Coffey has. But Davis is going to be running away as much as he can because he knows that 19 is coming.
Yeah, really good run. Coffey got through the traffic about as efficiently as I think he could have wished for. Maybe a little bit of a hiccup when they were kind of stacked up in front of him, but he kept the nose clean, and he's got a chance, 25 to go here next time by, and you know, that's enough time to make up the gap he's facing. Oh!
Oh, man. Wait, what happened?
Sean Rogers just about dumped Tim Harper there, it looked like. I mean, I saw live, so I don't know if that's full context here. Let's see here.
Look at here. Turn 1. Oh, that was netcode.
A little bit of
Harper
netcode,
slams the wall.
That is one of those netcode deals where, you know, I've done it as a driver too. You blame netcode, they were going to hit either way. That was happening, netcode or not. And that was just...
Yeah, Sean Rogers they were making contact no matter what there, so... Alex Coffey, I think, has now realized there is no time to wait here. He has officially pulled up the pace a lot. He's running a 455, Davis a 453. Those are your 2 fastest cars on track right now. Coffey still needs to get through Brandon Bikey, Tim Harper, and Sean Rogers if he wants a chance at Shane Davis. And, I mean, time is dwindling. If you're Alex Coffey, you need to go now.
I think Shane Davis did a lot better of a job saving tires than I think we thought he was doing based on the pace he was keeping compared to the others around him that have fallen off, because that 79 car is making really, really good time right now.
See, Tim Harper is just going to let Alex Coffey by. Doesn't want to fight here. He knows he's damaged. Oh, and look at this. Matt Cox, that advantage Coffey had has gone. It is gone.
And the difference here is I believe Coffey went earlier than Cox did, so I think maybe the 19 miscalculated a little, might have went hard a little bit too early, and that's what's gotten the 32 back to him, like, with this situation. Oh, 32 got the wall pretty big right there. He's going to throw a slide job on Bikey, maybe? No.
Ooh, almost had it. Oh, but Bikey's going to hit the wall.
That's going to be huge for Coffey to get clear.
Coffey gets clear, has a couple of, about a second, or about 2 seconds actually, worth of clean air here that he's able to work with. The next car on track is Sean Rogers for that number 19, so he has got a lot of clean air to work with.
You know, didn't mean Stein there. Bikey is fighting the rear of that race car, and he's about to wreck every corner right now, it looks like.
Shane Davis slowed down the last couple of laps. That may have been because of lap traffic, but Coffey took about 3 or 4 tenths out of him the last couple of laps.
Only going to be 15 to go here next time, so kind of running out of time here for Coffey and Cox. They might have, I don't know what they could have really done differently necessarily given the track position. Maybe say too hard at the beginning of the run, possibly shouldn't have given up as many spots would be the only thing that they could have changed, but they still have a chance to get there.
Yeah, for sure. I think just the way the run fell just didn't allow for you to be able to save for that long. So, I mean, Coffee, though, he is already way faster than Shane Davis. He's picked up about a 10th here. Trying a 450 to a 487 for Davis. So Coffee's still one of the faster cars on track. So there's still a slim chance, but I mean, 2.7 seconds in just over 10 laps, that is
that's
inhumanly possible.
I think a lot of what happened here is Davis definitely did a really good job saving the tires, more so than I think we thought he was doing. And additionally, Tim Harper was more cooked than he was on previous runs on the right front, I believe, and did not put up much of a fight at all, and did not cost Davis any time making that pass for the lead.
Yeah, as Alex Coffey works past his teammate Nigel Christensen, is going to be Coffey lapping Christensen. You see the gap to Sean Rogers is closing, just not by as much as Alex Coffey needs it to, unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely a much better shot. Oh, big moment for Sean Rogers there off of turn 4 as we speak about it, though. That's going to give Coffey the position for free.
Oh, well, commentator's curse is real, and if anyone tells you it's not, show them that clip.
Yeah, now Coffey's going to want that exact same thing that happened with Shane Davis.
I'm not jinxing 2 times in a row. Anyway, Shane Davis still leads this race by 2.4 seconds. Matt Cox looks quick, but it's not enough of an advantage, I don't think, to really, you know, say that he will be able to pass the 19 of Alex Coffey.
Yeah, I mean, Shane Davis...
Oh, wait.
What he wants here, though...
We said
one
something,
car
didn't we?
about stepped on his himself there, so... They got out of the way, Davis gets by now.
Yeah, now Alex Coffey is going to have to get clear of this here soon.
Yeah, just really impressed with Shane Davis. I mean, I thought... I didn't think he was cooking his tires necessarily. I just did not realize he was saving as well as he was. Definitely did a really good job. Really good race car for him.
Well, he's coming to take 4 to go here at Bristol. And he has come into this race late on and has put that familiar stamp on this race that every Shane Davis win seems to have. Just doesn't look like he has a good car to start the race, and somehow just figures it out at the end and comes in to win these things. And this is going to be his 3rd win of the year for Shane Davis, if things go correctly here, as he's coming to take 2 to go.
Yeah, saw him flirting with the wall there. Just don't really know why he had such a big gap. I would just, stay away from that thing. I think he got contact with it already once or twice since he got clear of those lap cars. So, but nothing too threatening around him right now. He's going to be coming to take the white flag here, Nick.
Just riding around as Shane Davis as he comes around to take the 1 lap to go here, presented by Elite Gaming. White flag in the air for Shane Davis. Already working down the back straightaway. It has been another very good win for Shane Davis, and that points lead up top is going to grow even more. Shane Davis wins at Bristol.
Great effort by Coffey and Cox. They got all the way through the field. There was just 1 car too good for them that they couldn't quite get to there.
Coffey goes from 14th to 2nd in the span of 52 laps there to come home 2nd as... Oh.
I believe those 2 are teammates, so that was probably a friendly
they're teammates. They're teammates. We can actually say that. They're
a little
they're
unnecessary
teammates.
damage in the race cars. I always have been kind of like, you can bump your teammates, but, maybe don't stuff them in the fence.
Denny Hamlin moment. Anyway, Shane Davis going to be your winner here tonight. Alex Coffey comes home 2nd, and Matt Cox will be your top 3. As Shane Davis burns it down in this Van Lily Stickers winning moment here. He is going to burn it all the way down.
Yeah, he did a great job holding on to his tires. Obviously had a really good piece underneath and managed his race perfectly. I don't think we saw him really put a wheel wrong most of the night, other than the time he got into the back of somebody and sent them around. But just did a good job keeping himself clean and putting himself where he needed to be.
Well, Shane Davis is going to take it to victory lane. We'll go ahead and send it to a commercial break. Oh, don't do it, Shane. That's not the entrance. It's the turn 3 entrance, and boom. Well, like I said, while Shane Davis tries to figure out how to get to victory lane, we'll go ahead and send it to our final commercial break of the night. Stay right here. We got post-race interviews and a complete race rundown coming up here after this quick commercial break here on Ballin TV.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we welcome you back here to Ballin TV as we just finished up here at the world's fastest half mile, 300 laps in the book, and Shane Davis takes home the Sim Rap Market 300 here. Alex Coffey, after saving his tires all night, only able to get up to second, unfortunately. Matt Cox comes home in third position, and we will speak to those three here momentarily. Brandon Bikey comes home in fourth, Justin Belmonte in Bikey comes home in fifth, Justin Belmonte in sixth, Jordan Schmeetz comes home in seventh, Blaine Wilson in eighth, Brandon Fetter finishes ninth, and Timothy Harper going to round out your top 10.
First car missing the top 10 tonight is Barry Sanders in 11th, followed by Shane Wyatt in 12th. Aaron Matthews fell to 13th after an impressive showing throughout the night, and Tim Wortman was the last car in lead lap in 14th. Finishing one lap down in 15th and 16th were Corey Moore and Nigel Christensen. 2 laps down in 17th was Johnny Shade, and then unfortunate nights for Ryan Huff, Jared Clark, and Caden Nordfree, finishing several laps down.
Finishing off in 21st, Jamison Middlemiss, after sliding on his side to start this race, somehow comes home to finish in 21st. Colt Bliskowski in 22nd, Darren Mills in 23rd, Chris Spear 24th, Paul Gallimore in 25th, Chris Davis, Matt Mack, and Victor Pfluger, Kevin Ruff, and Hunter Carmichael round out your top 30. In the other 4 cars that started this race, Greg Carr, Warren Young, Nick King, and Nicholas Atwood are your final finishers. So we will go ahead and get straight into our post-race coverage here. Post-race interviews coming up right now. We'll actually speak to your race winner first. Shane Davis had an interesting time getting to victory lane. How about we describe that one real quick, Shane?
I had no clue where it was at. No clue at all. I was trying to get it talked through my headset, and then I missed the rails, and I couldn't even get up there anyways.
Don't worry, we had a good laugh about it on the broadcast there. You end up coming home in that first position. Not really a good start to the race there for you. I don't even think you finished in the stage points there in stage one, but you end up bringing it home. I'm assuming you had to make a lot of adjustments because I don't know where this speed came from.
Well, I actually got second in stage one, but then I ended up getting bumped by my teammate in stage two, and ended up going back to the back of the field, and I think I drove up to 10th. Under green there for stage two. I knew I was going to be decent long run. I just knew that I'm pretty good at getting the optimal amount out of my car for as many laps as I need, and I knew I was going to have track position to do that because I knew Coffee was going to be really strong, Cox was going to be really strong, Bikey was going to be really strong in the long run, and so I wanted to get out front, get myself some position, and kind of get those optimal laps in of how much I needed to push and how much I needed to save, and try to time it just right.
Now, with this being your third win, just 8 races into the year, I think it's safe to say we can officially put you in championship contender status here for Moonshiners. Is there any stop in sight, or is it just all go here as we enter the summer stretch?
And for me, my opinion is we haven't even entered my good tracks yet. New Hampshire, Gateway, those style of tracks I really thrive in. There's a couple of guys in here that thrive in those style of tracks as well. So I think I'm definitely in championship form right now. We just got to keep pushing and keep putting down laps. And I kind of got lucky with this one. I didn't get to run a lot of Bristol last week. It just, thanks to some feedback from the guys and some of the setup shops, I was able to pull it out.
Yeah, we get an off week now for next week and then head straight into the most feared track on the schedule in Talladega. I mean, I'm assuming plan is not going to change from what y'all ran at Daytona. Just work together as much as y'all can. Yeah,
we have a really good group of guys that are very fantastic at super speedways, and Brandon Bikey and Chris Davis and a couple of the guys are really good at them, and they thrive at them. So I'm hoping to have a good showing there. We always have good sets, and I'm really confident going in there. I think we pulled out a P2 in every stage and the finish in Daytona, and then we won both stages at Atlanta and fell up short. So I'm hoping we can maybe capitalize on it and bring it home this time.
Well, congratulations on the win here tonight, Shane. Before we let you go, who do you got to thank?
I got to thank all you guys for a great broadcast. You guys have been killing it. I've been watching the broadcast back every week, and they've been absolutely phenomenal. And I got to thank all the setup shops that help us. Tonight I was running a Ryko Performance setup shop. I also run and test on a lot of other setup shops. So I got to thank all of them for giving me the choices and letting me get in the most comfortable set I can get in. All the guys at Beast Mode, we got a lot of guys on different setup shops as well, and give me good feedback on which sets they're liking, as you know, if they're part of multiple shops and whatnot. So I just got to thank everyone, and appreciate you guys.
Well, congratulations on the win tonight, Shane. Hopefully we get to talk to you in 2 weeks' time at Talladega.
Thank you, buddy.
That was Shane Davis, your race winner. Now standing alongside your second place finisher is Jeremy Miller.
Well, Alex, it was the bridesmaid here tonight. We saw you saving tires all night, doing a great job on the long runs. What more did you need out of that last run of the race to get back up fighting for the lead like you were in stage 2?
Probably just not to drop as many positions as I did saving. I had to give a lot of time to guys racing too wide when I was trying to make up ground on the leader. So I think if I would have saved, fallen back about 3 or 4 positions less, we could have had something for them. But by the time I got through everybody that was racing, it was kind of too late.
Yeah, we definitely saw you fighting through that traffic. Do you think you could have saved your tires as well as you did, though, if you didn't give up those positions? Or do you think that was kind of like a necessary evil to get your tires to the position you wanted them?
I don't know. It was kind of, I don't know. That's actually a good question. But there was, I think, 2 or 3 cars that kind of passed me about 10 laps before I really wanted to hammer down. And I was like, oh, I'll let them go. I'm not ready to go yet. But in hindsight, probably should have just hammered down then. But, you know, you can't do much after the race. You live and you learn. So,
Yep, absolutely. And we're moving next week into chaotic, or actually, sorry, you have an off week next week, but after that, you're going to be moving into Talladega. Obviously, plate racing. Some love it, some hate it. What are you looking forward to when we move there in a couple weeks?
looking forward to leading most of the race and dying with about 5 to go, like every super speedway I race. So, hopefully, we can not do that. But you know, I don't set my hopes too high for super speedway. It's kind of a lottery. So maybe we'll get lucky.
Well, absolutely. Thanks for putting on a show for us out there. And who helps you get it done out on the racetrack?
Shout out to my team, Dig, all my teammates. Shout out to Precision Speed Solutions. Been a lot of help and got us hooked up. We got a lot of poles this season. We're gonna put in victory lane eventually with them under the setup. So shout out to them. Shout out to all the viewers watching. Y'all for doing the broadcast. DJ for producing like always, and Barry and all the admins for making the league what it is and keep going every week.
Well, thanks, Alex. We look forward to watching you find victory lane here in the future.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
As Alex Coffey, your second place finisher. Now we're going to speak to your third place finisher, Matt Cox. Matt, you had one of the best long run cars all night. Ended up sweeping both the stages here tonight, but came up 2 spots short. What could you have done differently?
That's a good question. I guess get through the lap traffic a little bit faster. I think Alex probably dealing with that too, but yeah, I don't know. I think we kind of had the same plan, just to kind of take tires and try to have a long run there to end it. And it kind of worked out, but the leader just didn't get slowed down quite enough for us to get back to him. So P3, not bad.
Yeah, you come home P3, another good points night here for that number 32, just further solidifying yourself into the playoff picture. Are you going to use this off week to kind of, just chill out for a little bit, or are we actually going to see a lot more, Dega practice for you Beast Mode guys?
I doubt it. I doubt we see any Dega practice, but yeah, probably just chill out, take a little break. Yeah, it's always good to have a week off.
Yeah, for sure. And who do you got to thank? Who gets it done for you every week?
I just want to thank the guys we race with. Thanks to Barry and everybody putting the league on. I know it's a lot of work for them, and they got to deal with all the stuff behind the scenes that we don't see. So thanks to them, and thanks for everybody who puts it on, and thanks to all the drivers for having a pretty decent race tonight.
Yeah, congratulations on the P3 tonight here, Matt. Hopefully get to talk to you here in 2 weeks' time there at Talladega.
Yep, thank you.
As Matt Cox, your third place finisher, and that is going to do it here tonight for us as we get ready for the off week next week. We will not be broadcasting next week, so no race next week. Tune in 2 weeks' time, April 30th, same time, same place here on Ballin TV for Talladega. Jeremy, before we get going for the night, any final thoughts and kind of how are you looking forward to the rest of the season playing out?
Yeah, I mean, it was a really good race tonight. I think we could have seen this thing get really out of hand. We saw some wrecks early, but the drivers did a really good job cleaning it up. Obviously, some people had some really unfortunate moments. Really still can't get over Middle Miss getting stuck on his door like he did. That was funny to watch, but I know he was probably not laughing with us. So definitely unfortunate for him. Not going to be here for Talladega, Nick. You're going to have to hold down the ship there, but I'll be back after that. I'm going to be in the Dominican Republic trying some of the local flavor.
Oh, well, hell yeah. Have fun with that as Jeremy Miller signs off for a few weeks off himself. Like I said, that's going to do it here tonight on Ballin TV. Thank you to everyone at Moonshiners, the OB Builders Cup Series, and especially a big thanks to the title sponsor here tonight, SimWrap Market, for the SimWrap Market 300 tonight from Bristol. Shane Davis comes home with the win and further solidifies himself as a championship favorite here. But as I said, that'll do it for us here tonight on Ballin TV. I hope everyone has a good night, and we'll catch you here in 2 weeks' time. Y'all have a good night. Take it easy, guys.